We're winning the battle against climate change, but are we moving fast enough? 10 years after the world united under the Paris Agreement, a groundbreaking pact to combat global warming, there's both hope and alarm in the air. Renewable energy is booming, electric vehicles are gaining traction, and innovation is surging, yet a new report reveals we're still falling short of the drastic action needed to prevent catastrophic climate change. Here's the sobering truth: while we've made remarkable strides, progress isn't happening at the pace required. A recent analysis by a coalition of climate organizations, https://systemschangelab.org/state-climate-action-2025, paints a stark picture. We're on the right path, but we're walking when we need to be sprinting. And this is the part most people miss. The report scrutinizes 45 critical indicators across sectors like energy, transportation, and agriculture. Shockingly, not a single one is on track to meet the Paris Agreement's goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. 6 are making progress but too slowly, nearly 30 are lagging far behind, and 5 are moving in the wrong direction entirely. For the remaining 5, there's simply not enough data to assess. But here's where it gets controversial: one of the most glaring failures is our inability to phase out coal, the single largest contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Despite a slight dip in coal's share of global electricity generation in 2024, total coal use hit an all-time high. https://www.instituteforenergyresearch.org/fossil-fuels/coal/global-coal-use-hits-another-historic-in 2024, particularly from China and India. Is it fair to blame developing nations for prioritizing economic growth over environmental sustainability? Or should wealthier nations take more responsibility for leading the transition? Clea Schummer, a researcher at the World Resources Institute, warns, we're not moving fast enough. To stay on track, we need to phase out coal 10 times faster than we are now. That means shutting down over 360 coal plants annually and canceling all new coal projects. Without this, she asserts, limiting warming to 1.5 degrees is simply impossible. Here's a thought-provoking question: what if the real obstacle isn't technology or economics, but political will? Rachel Cletus of the Union of Concerned Scientists highlights the public health benefits of ditching coal, noting that coal pollution killed 460,000 Americans between 1999 and 2020. https://hsph.harvard.edu/new/particulate pollution from coal associated with double the risk of mortality than PM from other sources. Yet, coal remains a dominant energy source in many countries. Are we prioritizing short-term profits over long-term survival? Electric vehicles, once a bright spot, are now facing headwinds. While China's EV market is thriving, with nearly half of new car sales being electric, growth has stalled in the EU and US. Is this a temporary setback or a sign of deeper challenges in the global transition to clean transportation? It's not all doom and gloom. Solar power is a shining success story, with global installations up 33% last year. https://www.solarpoweryurope.org/press-releases/new-report-world-installed-600-GW-of-solar-in-2024-could-be-installing-1-TWH per-year-by-2033. China, once again, leads the charge, installing twice as much solar capacity in 2024 as the US has in its entire grid history. https://www.eia.gov/todayinEnergy/detail.php?ID =$65064. Could China's dominance in renewables reshape the global energy landscape? Private climate finance is another bright spot, improving from well off track to off track. However, public climate finance, funds from wealthy nations to help developing countries adapt, remains woefully inadequate. Is this a failure of global solidarity, or a reflection of competing national interests? As we approach the UN Climate Conference in November and the Paris Agreement's anniversary in December, the stakes couldn't be higher. Last week, a report warned that the world's coral reefs have reached a climate tipping point. https://www.cbsnews.com/news/coral-reefs-first-environmental-system-pass-climate-tipping-point-report says, and CO2 levels surged to a record high in 2024, https://wmo.in/news/media-center/carbon-dioxide-levels-increase-record-highs-2024. Are we witnessing the beginning of irreversible climate collapse? Meanwhile, the U.S. under the Trump administration is actively dismantling climate progress, labeling climate change a con job, and slashing support for EVs and renewables. Is this a dangerous anomaly, or a symptom of a broader backlash against climate action? Lawrence Spielman of the Rocky Mountain Institute offers a glimmer of hope. The economics are now firmly behind clean technologies. Investing in renewables isn't just good for the planet, it's good business. Yet, he admits the current trajectory is sobering. Here's the ultimate question for you: with the clock ticking, what will it take to accelerate our efforts? Is it technological breakthroughs, political courage, or a fundamental shift in how we value our planet? Let's debate this in the comments, because the future of our planet depends on it.